Well, howdy to everybody. Really excited to see some of my people in this room. So thank you so much for making the drive. I appreciate it. Excited to be one of the 16 teams still practicing and playing. And, we're just excited to get out there in the next couple of days and go out and compete our tails off. So.
For the players, I don't think if I ever asked you guys now that's like the second year of the rivalry, did either one of you recruited by Texas? Did you think about going about Texas? And then what about as far as the rivalry is concerned in this game? How about you first, Emily, then Koko?
I personally am not a fan of Austin, Texas, just because I grew up around the College Station area. And I think it's just a school rivalry. I don't really think it's like a softball rivalry. I mean, Texas A&M, Texas is historic, but we're not really making it too big.
Yeah, same. I never really grew up a Texas fan, so no. And like she said, it's a school rivalry. It's not really softball rivalry, so it's just another series to us.
Coach, the SEC obviously is so deep with all 13 teams qualified. What makes the SEC so good? Like, what kind of characterizes the conference? And how do you think OU and Texas are going to fit in the conference?
Yeah, I think what makes it great is just the level. My head always goes to pitching. So from top to bottom, you have kids on roster that are throwing 70, no matter where you're at. So your hitters are always kind of facing that level of pitching. And then I think everybody has at least 5 or 6 top-notch players. And what I mean by that, somebody that could, a swing of a bat, get a crooked number up there. There's some speed. So I would say just overall, I feel like the balance of attack in the SEC is much higher than a lot of conferences. So I think it just, from top to bottom. And I think it really prepares you for this postseason. I'm a straight shooter. OU and Texas are going to be fine in the SEC. I think they're going to only add to the level of play. I'm excited, to be honest with you. I think, we're all going to go out there and compete our tails off. We've been all itching to get them in there because we all want to play them every single year. And it's great for the sport, to be honest.
Kay Nagley, TexAgs. For Emily, just how do you feel going into this weekend knowing that you may be utilized a lot?
Just getting mentally prepared, thinking I might have to throw 3 games, and just knowing that I threw really well last weekend and I've thrown really well all year, so don't come in and make it too big and just do what I need to do.
And then for Coach, Trinity has just emerged in the last 10 games throughout the regional. Do you think that's just a part of her veteran leadership throughout the program?
Yeah, it's funny. On the drive-in, it was Coach Harger and I in the car with Coach E, and we were talking about Trin specifically of just I'm really pleased with her ability this year to stay steady. Last year I felt like she had a little bit of up and down, and I felt like this year she's just done a tremendous job. And I think it's just growth, honestly, of being in our system, being around Coach Harger, understanding her swing, and really becoming a student of the game. And so I just, I think I want her to stay where she's at. We're in a really good spot, I feel like, as a team. This past weekend, I feel like Friday was our nervous game that I had some choice words with the team about. But we got it all squared away, so we're good. But I think, that's the first time this group's ever hosted at home. And so they were nervous, and nerves to me are good. That means that they care. And so now we're in this position right now, and I feel like they kind of got that out of their system, and they're ready to go out and compete. So I'm excited.
Thank you. Is there any extra motivation playing here knowing that this is where your season ended last year?
I wouldn't say extra motivation. It's just kind of like we walked in and we're like, we've been here before. Nothing really new. And just playing like we played here before, so we're not going to be shocked by what's new. And I just don't, we don't want our season to end no matter where we are. So I just think we're going to go out there and give them all we have.
Yes, I even feel like we're more comfortable. We've played here multiple times, and I feel like we're fine. We're ready.
With the way you guys played last weekend, the way that you beat Texas State in that regional final, how much confidence does that give you about every facet of the game headed into this weekend?
I think it's huge. That was a really good team win, and especially it was the regional final, which is a big game. And Texas State wanted to come out and put one to us, and we kind of punched them first, and they never came back. which is good because we're going to need to punch first this weekend.
Yes, it was. I feel like as a team, we all pitched in that win, and it was good for us to get that confidence to come into this weekend. And I feel like we prepared, and yeah, there's nothing else. I feel like there's nothing else we can prepare more for.
Josh Newman, LoneStarLive.com. Trisha, a lot's been made since the bracket came out about Texas and Texas A&M and the rivalry and the SEC. Is this a good thing now that this matchup is taking place before the SEC stuff starts to put a spotlight potentially on the rivalry on the two schools?
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think there needs to be. I think it's there, allowed. It's there and living well. So, I think obviously, I think Texas earned that one spot. To be honest with you, I think they put together a great year, and I think we're going to come out and play our game, and we'll see how it all ends up at the end.
All righty.
Kind of along those lines, Chip Brown with Horns, 24/7. For all three of you, do you feel like you're a higher seed than 16 and that maybe the committee made this work so that we'd get this matchup? Emily?
I'm gonna actually go in first and kind of save them a little bit. We are happy that we are here. We earned obviously to be at Super Regionals. We're not going to go into detail of whether or not that's between us. That's between us and the team. Our job is to come out and win softball games this weekend. So sorry for bombarding that a little bit, but I didn't want. I'm going to always protect. So my mama bear. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. At the end of the day, we're going to have to beat somebody really good in order to go to the Women's College World Series, and we know that. And so, this weekend we have to beat Texas.
And Coach, I guess just what stands out about Texas and your evaluation of them? How would you evaluate how they're playing right now? And
yeah, I mean, they're a really good team. I think they have multiple arms that could come in and be, effective. They have they have a good balance of speed and power, and so you're gonna have to play your game. I feel good because if you look at our weekend from last weekend, our defense last weekend was on point. And so we're going to have to come out and execute our game plan and play at a high level defensively. I always know that we have a shot when lefty's in the circle. And so, we just have to go out and play Aggie softball. We don't have to be anything that we're not. Texas is going to come out and play Texas ball, and we'll see how it all, squares up at the end.
So I think there's time for a couple more questions.
So specifically, Trisha, when you look at them, they were a 13th seed last year, whatever, a number one seed. So where have they gotten so much better?
Yeah, I think kids have aged, right? So you're talking about
Texas.
Texas, right?
Yeah.
I just want to make sure. They've gotten a really good freshman class in, and I think they've hit the portal in areas that they needed to hit the portal. So, Mike White's a good coach. He's been a good coach everywhere that he's been at. And so I just think, couple, more years and a couple key pieces, and here you are. So you never know. It might be us next year.
All right.
Emily, you've continued just to have a really standout season in the circle, and a lot of it has felt like your mental approach has changed a little bit. As you get into these later rounds in the postseason, how do you keep locked in on that mentality that you've had the whole year?
Just because I've been in every type of situation you can put me in, like bases loaded, 3-0 count, no outs, my sophomore year. So I just think that I've been in every situation. I might not have been on this stage before, but the stage really doesn't matter. It's softball. I try to throw strikes and get them to get out.
So does anybody else have any questions? All righty. Well, thank you.
just one more, I guess, for Koko. Can you talk about the confidence that you have when Emily's in the circle?
Yeah, we're just as confident as she is. When she's confident herself in the circle, it's easy to be behind somebody that's so confident. And we see her practice every day. We saw how hard she worked in the fall. So, and I even get to see how hard she works in the summer because we're right around each other. So it's always good when your pitcher's confident in themselves.